Today we are going to discuss about the orientation of the leads and what exactly are contiguous leads. Though this is an elementary concept, it is very crucial in understanding various concepts like determining ischemia, determining chamber enlargements, and the morphology of the QRS complexes in various leads. So let's get started.
Greetings everyone. We need to understand the concept of contiguous leads. As you know, there are various ECG leads, 6 chest leads from V1 to V6, V1 to V6, and there are 6 limb leads. Now, these are specially placed around the patient's chest and on the limbs, and therefore they have definite directions. If you take a vertical plane, the chest leads are arranged with lead 1, lead 2, lead 3 like this, and the augmented leads finding ways in between, like AVR towards this direction, AVL towards this direction, and AVF in this direction. Okay, so these form the various directions of the various limb leads in a vertical plane. If we talk about the chest leads, if we say take a cross section of the chest, so the V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6 are located surrounding the heart, which makes them important to look at various chambers. For example, as you can see, V1 is closer to the right ventricle, V6 is closer to the left ventricle. Hence the pathologies, and not only the right ventricle but also the right atrium. Okay, so the pathologies of the right ventricle is better seen in V1 and V2. It's also close to the septum. Hence the pathologies of septum as well as the right ventricle and the right atrium are commonly seen in V1 and V2 leads. V3, V4 look at the anterior wall of the left ventricle. Hence the pathologies and ischemia, for example, of the anterior wall are best detected by leads V3 and V4. V5, V6 form the are located majorly in the left towards the left ventricle, and it's the lateral wall or the cavity of the left ventricle. The pathologies are best reflected in V5 and V6. VAN and AVL look towards the high lateral wall of the left ventricle, that is the extreme lateral wall of the left ventricle. Lead 2, 3 and AVF look at the heart from below, and hence they are toward the inferior wall, and hence are called the inferior leads. And AVR is the lead which looks into the cavity of the heart wall. As you can see, it looks into the, and hence is usually negative and reciprocal to most of the other leads. Okay, so the concept of contiguous leads means the leads which face a common heart area. Okay, like if we talk about the septal, V1, V2 are the leads facing the septal area, anterior V4, V5 and V3, lateral V5, V6 and high lateral 1 and AVL. Inferior wall is looked at by 2, 3 AVF, and posteriorly, okay, as you can see, the leads get finished before the posterior axillary line comes. So there is no actual lead which looks into the posterior wall, which is lying behind. However, additional leads can be taken like this to call V7, V8 and V9, which look into the posterior wall of the heart. Now these are the contiguous leads. Now the concept of there is something called as reciprocal leads. The leads which are opposite to the contiguous leads facing a particular heart wall are called reciprocal leads. Like for a lateral or anterior heart wall, inferior leads of 2, 3 AVF become reciprocal leads. If you look at the inferior wall, 1 and AVL, which are usually the lateral leads, they become the reciprocal leads. That means the changes in 2, 3 AVF would be mirrored in 1 and AVL. If there is an ST elevation here, there would be an ST depression in these leads. So this is what is meant by reciprocal leads. Okay, not only in ischemia. So this concept is very helpful in understanding the wall involved in the heart in ischemia, that is STEMI or otherwise. But this is also very important to understand various conduction abnormalities and chamber enlargements. As you know, V5, V6 look towards the left ventricle, V1, V2 are the ones towards the right ventricle and the right atrium. Okay, so these leads are very important in considering changes into respective uh, muscle mass and chamber enlargements also. So this concept should be understood before moving further.
I hope this video was informative. For further discussion regarding the chamber enlargements, the diagnosis of ischemia, and other important and crucial concepts in emergency ECG, do check the ECG Sadhana channel. Do like the video and subscribe to ECG Sadhana for more interesting concepts, practices, and cases related to emergency ECGs. Until then, stay healthy and keep saving lives.